칼라도 말고나 당고 좋아 근데 뒤돈데 가르세 삼로 있고 선나 콤바치네 삼로 영수 당다 안에 봄은 거다 봄 뜻이나 안에 샘니 데라 좋아 톤ጆ레 뜻이나 안에 소소고 오늘 정리 있던데 다 소지 좀 된데 다다가 낭비 좀 그치 부모 많이 비 근데 따뜻도 삼아 좀 된데 그런 거 깔리 먹고 잡지는 니 조지래 사르도 용uni 용
Nice to see you all. I guess we'll always, have to do something right at the beginning of any so he obviously we are just start doing something. So what is the beginning? At the beginning, we need to know, and so at the very beginning of this particular task or the events, here we are, and we needed to do something like this. When you eat food, obviously, you will immediately realize the taste of the food, right? So getting to know what kind of food it is and understand the taste or get the sense of what the food and taste is really look like, feels like, that first you just started. So our food today, like before, is the food of the spirituality of the universe. Okay? The spirituality of the universe, or in other words, the Buddhism, Buddhist teaching. And the text, the way we're going to test our food, find out how it feels like, and is to hearing, right? And meaning pay attention, right? To listen and to study, to read, right? Here in Tibet, we have to have this first step. But then the thing is that do not stop at the first step, right? Keep doing the step to stay in the same place, without move on. So after move on, take the second step. That is contemplating, and what is it about, and the ingredients, and so on and so forth, and its nutrition or its positive outcome, and all the aspects of things involved in this food. The food you just got to turn living experience, make it transform this sense of a test through the contemplation, and make it become empirical. Something just there is yours, right? And and that at that point, right? And then you are moving to the third step, right? So that is meditation itself. So get the test, hearing, right, and understand, realize all the aspects of the food, and then when the test, you enjoy the test or you understand the test, then clearly understand all the food and itself, and then bring that inside the true knowledge into the actual meditation, and make it as so sort of that stabilized your mental the activity of your mental life is actually the state of mind itself. Then we can say, now whatever you have heard, your thoughts, right, and your effort you made is fruitful. Right? Now you achieved your goal. Why? Because once you bring the knowledge of the Dharma, right? Through the thinking, through the hearing and the thinking or the contemplation, and then transform it into your own experience, then you begin to see the appreciate the results itself, the benefits itself. So when you see the benefits, of course, that's we must pay attention and to our sort of understanding about the things we understand. Generally, we say, "Oh, I understand," right? We kind of tend to believe that that's the case. We achieved. In fact, we forgot that. So when you say we understand, is we are talking to ourselves. We say, "I heard the concept. I see the relationship between those ideas and concepts." But here, the form of knowledge we are talking about is not just merely you feel, you know. Actually, now you experience itself, right? The knowledge, and the knowledge is serving you, and you see the benefits all the time. That's a true understanding. That's true knowledge. That's a true benefit. All the Buddhist teaching we haven't learned, we are learning now, is the system of Buddhist theory, and a part of the Buddhist theory and the practice. Is the system of Buddhist theory is the result of Shakyamuni's great effort, dedication. So therefore, we should the system of the theory and the practice introduced to us by Buddha, and of course. So anyway, and we need there's a steps involved. The hearing and then try to understand thoroughly, and then make it into your own experience, and to gain in other words, to gain the certainty about the knowledge, and then you will transform into your own. Let's say become your own way of living, a way of life.
Oh yeah, that's usually TV ngalwa madrepur chimte ten shungwater. Shangchi chopi kirwa dala dakte gawar shells. Sitang. Konta dala khaziram jayang no pashi pa. Dejin shaka tongyang tamchi shangchi kadin kir. Sit tsini jongwa. Si sonde. 다 가르쳐 보잖아. 아니 결정 안에 칼리치가 마지와 침니 rumbu step tombaina shoji semna gatsur chibuchi girwa otte najin azu zoba gomgi parod shibitla nyamne chigina zoba gomsade chusu ngazu noba chang drop bogu otte de michi bachode control lang shoji yongona sosla mando ba shoji yongona o tenita soso otte tata na ko ko yak shoji raso samne sa makilwa rangla makil jen makilwa ani 신들라면 심하면 어떤 찬도 요래 섬진에 그런 조금진에 어느 비나 하셔라 매 말은 매도 사이 탑는 자게래 어떤 당신 레스티사다니 대통령이 저가 일 바로 집이트는 조바 바로 냠는 대체는 상습까지 이제 탐지 라탄 년 탐지 심지 탐지는 소소 상습 접하가 조금 더 요래 진짜 삼노 아니 그한테나 배 소소라 팬 독는 지라 너무 그런 거 같더라.
Middle in the page, we're going to read in my effort for enlightenment, and when anyone abuse me, or even when others do me, it teaches us general, if you by accident, right, and you discovered or you find out a piece of precious stone, let's say the diamond or some material, obviously, you will become very house on a resident. So your entire sort of living environment it's your own house, right? It's your own dwell. This with the doctor is it teaches us how to turn our
거기다 공을
묻어.
아 이렇게
스카이프 가시던.
So we are having an issue with internet, and so until we find the voice from the translator, I'm going to say what Kishila.
그래서 식이다. 스카이프
말해. 네 영어 말아. 그래서 네 게임 영어 말아.
스카이프는 가시던. 스카이프 가시던.
스카이프 코드 다면서
콜라로
코드 다이어스 지난해 아주 옛날 중에서
무슨 식이다. 스카이프는 셀스. 제 고기 주말. 와, 제 고기 주말. 이라 가시가 더 하다. Look at this, go make it.
올라와. 저디 사등기 디니 담에 차서 이 줌네.
컴퓨터 공부 요새.
겐 아주 데만 인터넷 오면 줌디 담에 차서.
You
아니
Zoom catch you that Janet the 공부 요새.
어
So you can hear me, right? People in the Zoom, you can hear me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
야야 디 천원 딱 서딩 시지 고마서 이 권이 시셔나 커버디 야 짱 샤신 디서.
내가 커버 니 다른 커버 시대에 들어갔는데.
내가 시셔나 디서요. 커버 야.
너네 고마워.
따디 디 컴바나나 따디 무단지 라와나 아니
지지가 야야. 아니 이 스카트 자체가 더 장식이네.
스카트 하나 샤시나 디서요.
Yeah. Okay, and so people, and you are in Zoom, and you have to listen to me read the translation because when Tambala asked me to, the people I guess in the Facebook and they didn't hear on this part of the Geshe-la's comment. Okay. Yes. So in general, we know that if you by accident you find something at your house, right, or it's your residence where you live, and let's say it's a very precious thing and has a tremendous value, such as like diamond and or any jewel, right? And you will find a great, you will become very delighted, very happy, and very grateful, and you will see that the value of it, you will call you will call it the treasure, and you will cherish it, and you will try to take advantage of it, right? Try to use it because you know the value, and you are very happy and with that whatever you discovered. Right? That's our general attitude, right? And how we're going to deal with it. Now, you take it at the very same attitude, right, into the in the context of Bodhisattva's practice, and here in the Buddhist practice, Bodhisattva's practice, you know that people in general, right, who make you frustrated and difficult, right, and make you awful. So, from the benefit point of view, and so actually it's the same. So as soon as you, right, as a Bodhisattva, and what we need to do is as soon as you realize that person, he or she or they make some kind of a trouble and challenge you and try to prevent you from the things which you're doing, right, and or things that not doing your favor, and then you must try to remember or try to recall yourself right away. Say, aha, that's great. Now I have my chance, right? And here you go. I have my chance to. I find my treasure, and I have the chance to use this great opportunity and to because this is a treasure, my treasure. I'm going to use it to increase my the practice of patience or tolerance, right? And indeed, that situation or that person, right, he or she is just like the treasure you find in your house or in your residence, because this person now, right, and it serves the same purpose
acting like the same thing, and because it contains a greater value, and it's giving you the opportunity that you to perfect your practice of tolerance or forbearance, right? So yes, with that delighted, right? And just same thing like you find the treasure at home. Similarly, here I have the opportunity. I have it, and now it's my treasure. So that way you can transform these challenges and difficult, right, and unpleasant experience now become a very make it has a great, tremendous spiritual value and meaning, right? So this is a more direct practice or approach, and to perfect our greatest our practice of the great perfection of patience or tolerance. Now, if this is more direct and it seems a bit challenging, and then you can take one step back and look at that situation of that person, right, and him or her or them. As soon as you experience the unpleasantness, feels frustrated, and right, and being challenged and unhappy about it, and then with him or her, and some situation, then you must immediately think, oh, I'm so sorry. That person, right, is experiencing the pain, and he or she is suffering, but they are suffering. Right? They're suffering because they fail and to overcome the challenges of the ignorance. They did so is under the influence of being overpowered by the ignorance and by the afflictive emotions. So here I clearly see it. Because of that, now I have the reason to show a greater love and compassion to them based on the clear understanding that the person is acting in such a way because of his or her all of his ignorance and afflictive emotions. I have the reason to show the great compassion to him or her. So now, another thing you also can look into the situation is like people who generally give you donate something or give you the amount of money or brings the things which you needed or you're looking for, right? And our general attitude is we become very happy immediately, right? We become very appreciative and have a greater become very affectionate, right? Feel something great about that person, and so and intimate kind of intimacy, right? Become affectionate because we see now this person brought in a great value of money, right, or fame, and right, and that's what we are looking for. We need it, and then we're going to it's going to be very beneficial. So similarly, right, when you encountering with a challenging situation, right, created by anyone in any particular circumstances, and try to think, use the same logic, the same reason to say, oh, now I received my donation, right, and this is the things donated for me, right, and this is the fund I can use, and this person brought the things which I was looking for or I needed. So why you need it and what this person donating you? I donate to you on a great opportunity for you to perfect your great perfection of tolerance or forbearance. And the fact in general, and we will call that person an enemy and feel bad about it, right? And they are happy about the person. And that's the general of their people's attitude. They would do that. But here, in the context, if we discuss about practice, we should immediately say, here comes our friend, right? Here you go. I have friends now. It's coming, and I'm going to help me.
Oh yeah. Oh, that go there. That do something.
不知道吗？你考不是这个？
That couple said down the. What's that? 단 그래서 오야데 영 작가와 챔비션네 펜탁비 람테 노시경 영화 영지 챔보 곰 잠벌랑기 긴초남 니위 나양 라프른도 시소 데트 정시나 꼴리라 요나 손 통라닐 시와땅 른친랑도 시나 체작기 노문이 세르와타 노 머정위 티 메피 메파치시 온테 치키 도 치군데 임비 치키 동 치군데 임비 더 요나 머 치고텔라 치치고테 치 치고텔라 고치 고 곱체부 세르와터 인 돈데 타오 치고나 치키 멍 정칩셈 정시위 시소 즉 끌딱정 초대 다 어떤 하모라 멍자마던 전통마 시강 강내 위경 표기망 강내 딱정 표기선 시송와 떨인데 어떤 때 말게 되나 근데 도도로 가서 소소가 샘들라 냠는데 철시송나 자 통나라 때 소소가 조바고 비길 척그래 년 통나라 때 소소가 조바 그 소소와 일종의 스타트 단위 말씀 강도 지나 섬지 탐지 소섭에 니 착그래도 뜻은 거다. 다음에 이따 봐요.
디디를 벌써 신내 오는 거야.
아까 보통 이거
가오마디 그 스카이프나 같이 주나. 아울라고 저 치기상게 스카이프 디온 치잖아. 스카이프 디다 온 치잖아.
근데 내가 저거 오지만 되잖아.
스카이프 디다 온 치잖아. 스카이프 디와 다디 큐디 뮤트 디 온 치잖아.
An opportunity to practice patience.
야, 따야 보드 야.
You're right. Right away, we were talking about it.
나 디디야.
나 토코드.
다 코도.
나서 계시라.
나서
근데 체크하고 그때 받아 사무 되니마 송아 알아도.
받으려면 어떻게 받았다. 다들 자기야마 당장 집안에 간다. 어때 가서 강내 위는 사무고 친 잡아나서는 비는서 대랑네 돈도 가르치고 있나. 치 냠는 철수나까 내가 간지는 수수 냠는다. 착그래 라지기 년다나라 그 공부랑 말할 때 조바고미 있던 저도 미지라 편수 속과 통하나 때라 차도 지게 말지 쓰이랑 무슨 기용 그래. 나와 기용 그래. 수수라 강아지 전나 때라 쇼 만두비 남지롱 말하다 레기 남은 데오인 비바샤크 요섬니 대주기 삼동 더 되잖아. 소 강내지나 치라로 그래 세워다. 내가 총바도 노를 나가로나 노를 노 탐지 루모치 받 하 공개지 그때나 노 탐지 루모치 노를 쳐내베 켈자가 노라가 말해서 노만 얘기 말 상바는 른친 얘기를 른지 통보해서 그때잖아. 뜻당지에서 그 소수 삼동시나 냠는 뜻이 있다면 자동 편지지 그래서 다 냠는 맛이나 섬지 탐지 다쳐도 그다 와 용도부터 콜라가금 섬남동 그네랑 어떤 소수 냠는 지당 집들을 받는 거 삼로당 계속 그랬어.
네. 그렇죠. 다만 리치나 kundu기도와 깨깨기도와.
디 kunzu zoom 코도.
아야.
kunzu 코 살아.
Okay. So yeah, you guys said that the Zoom and you hear me okay, right? Okay, good. All right. Here is the thing. Yes. So the page 57 and to the end, it says the great Chakava has also said, even when hurt is offered in return for help, respond by meditating on great compassion. In this world, the superior man will accept such a misfortune while leading others to goodness. If we understand how to train our mind in this way, then just as we could wander across a plane of a sword if we had physical courage, or journeying to the mythical Jewel Island, we would need to seek no stones to throw at the vicious dogs. So, a period will come when there is no time, when we do not train the mind. This is the single meeting point of all teachings. If we have that, it is like the saying, one doctrine for one man, and that one teaching is purposeful. Thus, since it has one purpose, you can call the doctrine the practice of the awakening mind, or whatever name you like, as the saying goes about Paten Lamo. Oh, 100-named lady with 1,000 characteristics. By whatever name we invoke you, that is your name. However, we imagine you, those are your quality. So the conversation, the nature of the conversation is the same. It's about the practice, right? And it teaches us how to practice it. We are hearing the teaching, right? So here, what is saying is that just like what the text said to us, so our challenge, the difficult experiences, right, and that we have to face, right, and difficult people we have to deal with, right, and or any displeasant places we run into. So, in our words, anything that it seems to become sort of it's not do you a favor. As Bodhisattva, what we do is we know all these difficult experiences of people and the circumstances are actually is a valuable, a very important important moment for us, because all these things turn to seems against our will. In fact, is helping us to accomplish our goal, right? But we can look at any difficult experience from various perspectives. Just try to get one job done. That is working towards the ultimate transformation of our own mind, right? And so it's all the difficulty situations for a bodhisattvas, like the analogy of this kind of scenario here says, imagine a person or traveler, right, or the person who set out right on the long way in the journey to discover the treasure in other island, right, and or other country or any other places seeking for the valuable thing. So here you are entered into, in this particular case, and you are entered into the the jewelry, the mystical, and the place where through the teaching where we land or we enter is the island of jewel, right? Jewelries. So imagine if you're in the island of jewelry, right? All precious stones, you can't find any. You are in the. You end up. You are seeking for the awakening mind. The practice of seeking for awakening mind leads you to the island of jewel, where you find no stone, no ordinary stuff, right? Nothing has a greater value. Every single thing is equally has great value and is jewel. So if you think it this way, right, and then you know that everywhere, every day, every person, every experience, anyway that you go in, and anyone you meet with, so they are all there for you. They are there only for you to help you. They are there to help you to transforming your the mind. In other words, to help you to achieve your practice of awakening mind. Right. So yes, the question is not about the what's going on, right? It's about how you're going to deal with it, or how you know, right, how to deal with it. So this is a great lesson, and that's why it says one doctrine for one man, and that one teaching is purposeful. So yes, so anyone, whoever we are. So if we know how to practice it, and then every day, everywhere, and everything happened to you, and it's just for your, it's for you, just helping you for you to achieve the ultimate goal of awakening mind. So it's all become the one thing that's crucial is how you look at it, right? How you're going to deal with it, right? So it is for us is that we're going to then take everything, right, as a great opportunity for our practice. And the truth is, if you do not take every single thing, a single experience and events, right, as the great opportunity for you to enhancing your the practice of awakening mind, so you will out of or under the influence of this predisposition, or the what we call it is discursive thoughts, right? And hoping for something that's desirable and for your individual sake, and a fear about the lose thoughts will naturally and lead you to, and always divide it to the individuals into friends and enemy. So you're constantly right on the battle of this fighting between the protected friends and fight over and against someone you named after the enemy. So see, we just have this no choice, right? Either we transform every experience as a great opportunity for us to enhance our awakening the mind, or we're constantly doing same old thing, and in return, of course, and we will not doing anything spiritually meaningful and accomplished. So therefore, yeah, we look at all the experiences and from Bodhisattva's point of view, and take as great opportunity and helping us, and nothing negative whatsoever, but all are positive. And you can also sort of look a little bit more conventional, right? The negative experiences, say, well, you know, it's happened to me. If you cannot directly look at the Bodhisattva's practice or great opportunity, you can look at this, oh, this is a karma, right? A result of my own, right, and previous life's action. It's the result of it. And now I should experience it and take it, right? This is my great experience, opportunity to pay back, and in fact, you can also take this the negative experience as a moment to say, oh, this reveals I did something bad, right? Now I have the reason to confess, right? And I need to practice purification, right? To purify my negative actions which I have committed before. So this way, see, everything is you can turn around and become the opportunity for you to achieve the perfections of your awakening mind.
Oh yeah, that longer transition is. This is Java Kiwi, Yim Senchilan Jalawat, Shiso, Sonkapni, Young Kungishani, Shanchip Semchin Latin Kila, Jisher Mongwe Madi, Service Kona, Dikang, Jen, Muzong la Medina, Te Lo Jangwala, Lo Jangwa Nyamshin, Pate, Sangi Gil, Gi Madi, Songwa Yinam, Sonkap, Jen Children Zambi Payuntang, Rong Children Zambi Nimu. Dordite, Papa Shawali Shani Katsalwat, Mount TV Chishisha, Shivi Rangdun Shepada, Tapa Jentun Zapa, Tapi Jenki Tun Zapa, Deniki Kaperti, Shisongatang, Tefter Lapper, Samna Rangchin Nimu Tamchin Jongkong, Jen Tamchi Jongkong, but Tefter Lapper Samna, Rang Chinjin. Niwa Tamchi Jongkong. Jen Jinjin Li Yondan Tamchi Jongkong Tony Dun Sha Yil Semchin also Diwa Yitong with Namba Chent Lo Kiti Tena Rang Jinjin Tong Jen Yawarndorwi Lo Ni Kosa Hojishi Warte Bapershati Dajan Nyamber Chivi Sindor Dite Joper Shessen Dos or that the part. Dajan Yamji Chitanga such a double Sarson Zirata, Lord Tama Garson Guzna. What the Kichel on that thing it is the Siton Jabet.
Oh, yeah. Here, the great master Lori Tomba also said, recognize sentient beings as the mothers who give birth to the conquerors of the three times. He also said, the awakening mind is generated in dependence on sentient beings. But like the saying, whatever you do when wearing an iron helmet is unpleasant. To entertain such a thought that whatever you are, you feel vexed when encountering other beings who displease you, is like being unhappy with the cause of enlightenment. The exalted Shanjideva has concisely stated the advantage of being concerned about others and the fault of selfishness. What need is there to say more? The childish work for their own benefits. The Buddhas work for the welfare of others. Just look at the difference between them. Thinking about this deeply, we should see that all faults arise from selfishness, whereas all good qualities come from benevolence toward others. This means that we should be concerned about sentient beings, should be fond of them, and think of them in think of them with affection. Therefore, we should keep up our effort until our thoughts of concern for ourselves and neglect of others have changed places. This concludes my brief account of how to exchange self and others.
어떤 내 결정 지나가 다 내로 가서 냠는 지주 가르쳐 보여 가 서치 타바치 모션스 셈비 냠는 지로 전지 셈이 냠는 지다 다지 냠지가 갑득 네 전지오르즈 로 정즈네 다트 자동 마시에 다 성인 다 이만에 점단냐지 고시에서 대자다 네 상지지 셈길라 겨르시 발라 담보 마르시와 진담바 진조와 용구 샴바든 아니 샴바냥지라 소바티데 지용주다 단다 니 삽진로 름바 차정지 다지 냠지 지네 랑리 전지오른 좀바 때 파윤시고 전지오른 좀나 데데데 파윤요레 단디 도르디샤나 예시와라 가르송오즈나 딱게 망보셔니 지식샤지 아니 시위랑도 시방랑도 소소랑 지오른이 단다바트 칼리 냠니 시고 지오 인즈멜라 칼리 자고르 단다마트니 코로나네 능능양네 데데오르스 선지 좀 던데네 특비 전전전에 선지 좀 던데게 벤데랑 야월도네 심지 전지도도 셈께네 리롱솔라 소바 레당네 칼리 자고르다 단다 몽버조 상기네 땡기 대와 토바레 때때니 잡바라테나 그런 거 시오수 레시장고만 하고로 뜻이고다 랑문에 전에 대화도 봤던 민물도 봐이나 대화 용사도 제다 제 지오는 좀 발라 지오르 전 지오는 좀 발라 지니 로 정다 아니 세드당 시마 타트게 대화 토도 그래 민물 용사 때 만도나 민물 용사 때 랑치오는 좀 봤대 랑치오는 좀 봤대 지잖아 세드당 세시마 니디당 남바담 코랄리 타트고 말해 어때 자다 아니 랑니 진주 쿠파 피기고 저던가 많은 진도 연대기 지셔서도 어느 가서 어떻게 냠는지 랑친지게 다 냠는지도 디 럼바로도 차차로 송다 다 결혼도 지금 검 약해나 원래 랑치오는 좀 봤던 전치는 좀 많이 다다 왔던 거 랑치오는 좀 방아 대도 자친구도 전때 좀 야원 돌져 가지고 거 어땠다 이 고사지네 랑 야원도 전치오는 좀 봤대 전치오는 좀 봤대 샘도 검송나 간다지 때나 캡송도도 가르요나라 전라 수수 람성 제라데 셈나나 가요 말 가능동 지위 파쇼라 지트고데 비나 로지고나 전지가 로지고나 수수라 캡송그램이 조지나 수토능 지지군 지트고 단다 가능 수수는 것도 가리나 칼리 잠니 잡트고도 왔다 랑 지원 좀 받대 요라다 전 지원 좀 받대 로콘 콘페송나 전다 록 가르치고는 수수랑 니도 가르치 단다 칼리미 하나지 전기도 칼리자라 네 남도 줄이요마 어떻다 세고 너 디나 가지고 전지오르도 별로 예 세터티 도르도데 domru 세시나
Okay. Well, yes, there's no single thing left for us to really to say that is not the practice, right? So what we got is every single thing, right? And everything we have, we can imagine, is subject of the transformation of our mind. In other words, to practice our bodhisattvas, the mind of enlightenment. And so this is the essence of the Mahayana path and the practice of the path of the enlightenment. And so so far up until this point, and all the commentaries we read and the points we discussed, right, and the questions we discussed about, and all of them are and focus on the one goal. The goal is to perfect the awakening mind, and the very technique we have been studied. We have been studied, and is called essentially is the exchange self with others, or equalize and equality of self and others, equalize self with others, you can say. So in other words, so exchange the very possession of you, right? Or you have, and whoever you are has been through. So up until this point, right? If you did everything, and that is based upon the attitude that for your seeking for your own interest, right? And to do something for your own well-being, and the discussions we had, right? By all kinds of analysis and through the all kinds of metaphors, right, and logical reasonings, right, and so we see that we have all kinds of reasons and based upon the qualities, the benefits, right, long-term, short-term benefits. And so it is absolutely necessary, it's crucial for us to practice this technique of equalizing the others, self with others, or exchange self with others. So this practice is the technique we're going to use. We have discussed is the way to perfect our awakening mind is this. So that's covered everything. And other than that, of course, we know and there's other technique also designed to help us to achieve our goal of the perfected awakening mind. That is called the 7-point quintessential instructions of cause and effect. Right? So we basically you needed to, yeah, that's another set of a technique, but again aimed to achieve the same goal, to perfect our mind of the mind of enlightenment. So we do this not just as a philosophical discourse or some kind of religious dogma, but rather we do this and clearly and based upon our understanding of understanding of the benefits, the positive, the absolute long-term and short-term, and the benefits. Yeah, and that's in fact is directly addressed the things which we are looking for, right? So Shantideva here said that yes, so we do not really need to talk a whole lot about this. The point of the discussion is as rather simple. That is just take an example and look see what is the childish or in other words is the person who are merely focused on their self and their own interest and their life experience, right? And their status, their conditions, and how much they be achieved, right? What kind of the future he or she or they and they are most likely have to deal with it. You compare those childish individual and or individuals who focus on their own individual benefits and interests to the greater being, the superior being, enlightened being, such as Buddha Shakyamuni, and then you see that you don't need we don't need elaborate on this, need a long sort of conversation or discussions about it, because these two examples are quite obvious, right? And so that's why in the Shantideva is saying that we need to remember this and look at our own status, see what do we have done so far, right? And then what are we most likely going to receive, right? The future of what we are creating now, but then compare to what Buddha has, what Buddha did, right? what he has achieved, and then we go from there. So the point again is make the more relevant to us is that we do not want to experience any slice unpleasant experience. That's the truth. That's the reality. But that's the absolutely the case. So now we needed to, and then at the same time, we're innately, naturally, our natural tendency is looking for pleasure, something pleasurable and happy, and feel great about it. So now we needed to, since we can't change it, right? This is the course of our life, our basic mental sort of the predisposition, all right? And now we needed to ask the questions, right? And what to do, right? What to do, and by what kind of means we can really avoid or free ourselves from the suffering and cause of suffering, right? And then at the same time also to clearly to see so far, right, and up until this point, right, and so whatever we feel like we experience the suffering, right, and a great the pain is because of the thing we can blame on. Okay, we're blame on is a negative attitude. That's self-cherishment. So self-cherishment, the negative attitude of self-cherishment is the contributor, which contributed all the, or brought or invited all the unpleasant and experiences and sufferings to us. And when you look at the Buddha again, you see that all kinds of great qualities and wonderful attributes, right? The knowledge and power and skillful means, right? Everything. You can imagine, and those positive qualities and the spiritual qualities is the result of other cherishment. So the very contributor is of all the wonderful qualities is the other cherishment, right? By contrast, all the suffering, unpleasant experience, cause of suffering is created by the self-cherishment. So we need to remember this very clearly. So now keep this in mind, right? And be certain about this is the case. And then you can apply this knowledge into the meditation. So how to meditate, right? And brought them into your formal meditation practice. The way you're doing this again, when you sit down, right, and organize yourself, right, and bring everything into place, and then begin to reflect upon, right, with the questions, see that is a self-cherishment has any faults whatsoever, right, and is it harmful attitude or not, right, and then at the same time, and then reflect upon is the others' cherishment as an attitude, right, and the spiritual means, and what kind of benefits are there, and what kind of things will the outcome you may receive from by practice the others' cherishment. And so yes, in your meditation, you're reflecting, sort of you comparison, right, and clearly see the faults of the self-cherishment, right, and see how harmful it is, and then try to eliminate it, right. And at the same time, and by reflecting upon, clearly see the wonderful, great, and outcomes of the others' cherishment, right, and then try to get used to it, try to get familiar with it, and try to perfect it. So you can begin with idealistically, right? Realistically. So by taking realistic approach, and then get used to and the others' cherishment, the attitude of others' cherishment, and again by over and over reflecting upon the great benefits, its outcome, right? And then eventually, when you get used to it and really get to the point where you are so comfortable and so confident, and you really experience all kinds of the benefits, then it's a switch off, right? Replace the self-cherishment, the attitude of self-cherishment, and with the attitude of other cherishment is possible. So to achieve this, yes, we do need make an effort, right? The thing is this: so we have so far up until this point, we made an effort, right? We've never been sort of in a place that we made no effort. We're constantly making effort. But the sad thing is that we tried so hard, right, and did everything for us, but we achieved nothing. All the things we achieved is not fulfilling at all, right? Since we do need to make effort, we have to make effort, right? Why not we switch this effort, right, and bring this effort, the same effort, right? And so far we've been focused on self. From now on, why not we make this effort and no longer for our own interest, but for the others' benefits. Now I would like to open the floor and for you, Nia. Yes.
I have a question. And I'm taking notes, and I'm just a little confused about one thing, and I could use a refresher, and I think it would be helpful. So I know that there are the two different ways of developing the awakening mind, and one of them is the 7-point practice, which we're not talking about right now, which involves reflecting on sentient beings as your mothers. That's like from Atisha. This is the very powerful way of thinking about equalizing the self with others that Shantideva has been talking about, which I have to say I'm a little rusty on, the step-by-steps of equalizing the self of others that Shantideva is. And I'm wondering if Kaishila Konga can go, kind of step-by-step of what the practice is for equalizing the self of others, so that I can put this in my notes. Like, what is the first thing that we would think about, the second, as we work through the equalizing self with others?
Okay. Hello. The subject Nyamlan the Telomba Chawala, the Mangla Master Nindo was a tuna Jimmy Mangla during thing of Tapatan Song Yomari, and the George Bada, the Shabi, and the challenge Bada. And the Genji Tadanga Shawalagi and the Tanzanian Jiji was it. That doesn't the check and Gisela Zeton somebody. Now it took on the two they do. Which is the to asset. And it doesn't Nyamlandi Manova Chewala, opponent duty to Rembata when you are so much Yujirwas, thinking on all the Donian Chewala, Manova Chiala, and Rebatambo, the newest Joan there is a Nichi Chisona, it told young Pisa.
That Tango on the Turanga Rangi Samlotang, Sosorangi, Sosorangi, Devando Patang, Timando Parawa, the day Samotang, Sosorangi, Chiva, they Samotang, the Tetra Yorum, they know that Nan meet some of the red way, Churchoda. That's how much Devando Patang, to Deva Dogio, didn't go in a with some Deva Dogio, so didn't go to Yomar. They thought how much Chipa Nyamba, this is some or the one about the Dingamanduba, some Yambar in the walls in it. There's some Yammy also, Chonsema or Tangan, Dopan, some cheaper and do a same Trotonum to left with dozen Yamjon. Trotonum, the level also, the name or some cheaper, some also the near wrong. I said this the Jen said Mamboro, it's a Jen sometimes like Deva. Wrong Deva Yona, Devan Doki or Deva the Kani Yomare, Pastor Serna, so rung. Lini, donc les longs temps, 10 ans, dans son country, Jean Latini, 시연된 동 탐제 대지도 전 자체보리 시대 랑징 전라 자체보이 봐 통용의 전 자체보 통용으로 전 때라 무식 기와동 제발레용으로 어다 당진이가 당진이가 파 지용으로 됐을 차퍼로 치고도 나리다 전 자체보리 세트 다다 전딩아 세트 여러 때파 참가다 전 자체보지 통용 전 자체보지 통용으로 쏟아 때라더니 전라 등문지 통용으로 jen dingal kangaji thongsu tela tin samna rang teni tanna sambi mozo biyanji ki janda dewa dem yongsu tela samde otpe yagore dewa tang dambate jind dambar sochi samna gawa ki shabatang shawatam gawa tami sedu otte ma tungazo tande tili dogochini janda pasu soba yagochi yongsu tela samna magawa chi chado ro chado kene dang chado chi ki yongsu 오늘 지난 때 자동 기고 요말 코코롱 깔리기 코롱코롱 되지 농쪽을 아주 참아 대화도 지바 능문도 지바르체 이 삼루 땅 토하나 시작 한도 동아도 딜리 신지로 정도 뜻지고 어떻게 그 삼루 땅에는 참자다 랑진 탐지 삼자다 랑진 탐지니 나는 젤 도창을 쏟아 전 탐지 능을리 도고 그 삼데 다전 능을리 도르시바 참자다 상지세 녜지기 인스 탐지 능을 좋아다 나랑 그 맞추지기 지기 인서 또 저거 랑징가 단다 티토이 니와메와 하고 소소 치바라 그럼 치바다 티지 텔레니다 탑탑는 선지기 공방토 원도 선배 삼도들 랑 선지기 공방토 원도 선지기 공방토 는 게 점점들 한도 지역에 니와 차성 조소나 지인세 삼도들 랑징 콜 티지 오르다 nga sanji kombo do nga rangi kibu chunga dis mare samji tabji dinga ni to icha tin sam samno ta chi ti ki onso ti jana chi sang sam thong hong ta na te na sang te kangzang te ni sang sam ba cha so o te de ja ba gom thwai na ta phen tu yor sam gi ni te ta nam ji te sam no tong na te de sam tong gi yo so so te tang kangzang kam tong miwa ma da kang sam no tong na dom de na ki so la pa su sam tong na de kre si ra ringolan roya nga du chikpar lamka kan ni dona dina tele dona dikse nga rotang dokan ro so ke lamka ro tele samtang yosi tana din rota tak magida
işte describe the
ta me ajta
mare o describe the
Apa? Oh, cuti kau samar pasal tu.
oya
Tak ada susah, nasib.
Tadi mi jamba yang dengan tu mati nyamba rese ini tak ni langsung. Oh, ini tempat susu sama tangan ini mi jamba lah susu kan doba danje mi lah thara rese ini tak cesek.
Lelo so, tak ada ya. Tak kita ane susu tu sama tangan tu sang, tu jadi semji tamjil. Round dewa doba tu dengan mandu cikpare samle ti yang sama tangan semji tamjil. Pa samlo tangan tu main pa repeat taksi tangan ni dewa doba tu ko dewa doba rewe ni. Jace jatan bare tu ko ni dengan mandu ba ko dengan mandu ba rewa ni. Jace jatan bare tu ta. Ti cikpare tu susu tamjil chaning ta tu sama 동용 chane. Tak ngadu sama cikpare sendiri ke sorot demo. Tu ciumur tu ti salata ya bichini ni. Rong zena nga se te tada samlo tangan arang cikri. Arang the Sony zena lead the longchu tong chenyan tak yun tamchi kangni chongare samlo shibta tong na te tamchi jenli chongare. Te zada jen kartin chimbo tong jen ta chimbo iba terang jing samma. Cheda ren jen chiwur zubi loji gila kyong. Jen chiwur zubi loji gila kyong so. Ani jen la kati dengan do kangen do tong so lamsong tele kana sambi yangji te le lo kigen. Ani jen dewa tong damba punsu choba yo na tela o yakore sene sanna tmotne damba shokchi damba kirchi se tela gawa kyung shamba tang gawa tsame kyung te rangjing ge yong zordo ki chinata janla rochala karchi gona jala kachi gona 강치가 요마 강을 메이고니 지트고 때잖아 때잖아가 전기 등을 통용 수 텔리 전나 삼비 삼로듯이 삼비다 로트 공도 벌써 소소랑니 그전 등을 타워시고 군도 삼비 삼로트 용어서다 랑상기 공모 마토나 때텔리 니와메야트 통용 수다 디 쳇등아 공부 좀 상기기 있는 삼비 디 삼로트 코롱어서 때 디gel랑 원디 상치 심 통송었다 따디 상치 sem바시 상치 sem바시 간다 다다 nga 상기기 고보 톱그린세 nga 랑게 뇨모트 기부이 되기세게 요 말에 심지 탐지 능을 이태고 근데 자와 띠치와라 니월 상기 공부 마토나 땅아티 탑 넘제면 띠타타 띠 코피 쳇지니다 바로 또 심바틀라서 냠네 강체데 잔돈도 시기요자 삼로콘도 진짜 창스 sem바테 창로 데디치니 로코는 콤베도나 다 펜트용 그레스 정당도 좀바로 데디지 그레스 다 기타만에 예지 망가도 이고니 저 정당 망부 요리다 또 소소 미 소소 감당 미와 삼로 당당 그레스 근데 강 비나 티 소라 삼로 당 아주 무일 때 아주 리글은 도에 데 링글은 로사 랑카티 강 되는 소소 삼로도 로라 강 되와나 진짜 존나 요군들이 삼발라 때 아랑라나 로 디우 로지 좀 치우도 좀 특별히 말다 삼로 당 티쇼 특히 삼로나 데스 디우다 지 로나 트로아지 오는 거지
Also, okay. Well, with this technological challenge, now I myself is sort of messed up. Okay, we see how that goes. Well, I guess the staff and here's a few steps that you may consider. And number one, right? So you sort of turn inwardly yourself, ask yourself, and a question, right? The question is, am I looking for happiness? Am I always I want to be happy? So the answer is no doubt, right? You have no doubt. Say yes, it is. And then you sort of now shift your attention to outwards. Right? From your own inward to yourself now outward others. In the context of meditation, of course, both are as inwardly and right, but inside your attitude, sort of the object of your inquiry, right? Your investigation is changed. First of all, yourself, right? And then you shifted the object of inquiry to others. Just you are so certain, so clear, right? That I do want happiness. I do not want suffering. So once you reach this certainty, right? So sure about it, it's really so clear about it, right? You have the absolute certainty about that very point. Then bring this same thing to others. Right? Say, is others also just like me? All other sentient beings just like me. Are they looking for happiness? Do they want to be happy? And are they trying to free from the suffering, causes of suffering? Okay. And reflect upon and ask this question, right? And to see what the answer is. The answer is in your meditation, right? Or your in the process of your own inquiry, and you will find that actually the same, right? For example, if you give yourself like 100% mark, right? Say that your score, the way you answer your question, am I want to be happy? Am I looking for happiness, right? If you give yourself the score is 100. Right, 100. Then when you ask the same question to others, is anyone else doing the exactly same? Okay, you must ask this question and reach the point that for you it's very clear. You also need to give the score mark of your own question, the 100, right? 100. At that point, right, now you can equalize. you go, because why? Now you give the both 100% the answer. So see, you and the others, in terms of want to be happy, want free from the causes of suffering, and want free from suffering, there's no really any difference whatsoever. So after achieve this certainty, right? It's so clear, and you are so certain about right? It's so equalized, absolutely equal. No. Next, the importance, right? Who is important? So the answer for this question, the proper answer for this question, is that of course it's others. Why? It's because whatever you own, whatever you gain, whatever you achieved, right? You possessing, right? You consider about the joyful and great is come from others. Okay, and also from the number point of view, statistical point of view, you are one single individual, but others are limitless, right? And so everything you have, you appreciated, you enjoyed, right? Is you consider beneficial, is related to others, is because of others. So therefore, now, so as far as the values are concerned, your the others, the infinite number of sentient beings are more important, right? And then you are single individuals, right? Individual. As far as the value is concerned, of course, the same, right? And then you move to the fourth step. That is, since all you have, right, you appreciated it, right? You own it. It's because it come from somebody else. So now you are in the possession, right, where you are sort of obligated to pay back, to return the kindness of others. And to return the understanding of I do owe the sentient being, I do need to return that kindness, right? And then I need to do something about it because all I have is because of them, right? Which will take you to, right, the fifth step. That is, you want to bring the joy, right, and to others, right? And then at the same time, and you want to free all others from the suffering and the causes of suffering, right? Once you develop these thoughts, right, you want to return the kindness, and now you physically sort of jumping in and, right, express how grateful you are and your recognition and of their kindness, your appreciation about whatever they have done so far to you, right, how important they are, right? And as an expression, you will try to please them, help them, right, make them happy. And at the same time, you want to address the suffering and causes of suffering. But then this is seventh step is mostly in. So now you see the limitations of yourself. And now the present self, right now, who you are at this point, you find yourself rather limited as far as your power and the skill means your resource, right, and anything. If you measure, right, your goal is to free all sentient beings from the suffering, the cause of suffering, and then to your current status, current the resources you own, right, and the powers you developed, you see this is very limited, right? Then you move on, it's kind of a seventh step, I guess. That is, now you develop you generate the mind of enlightenment. You want to attain the Buddhahood, to become a perfectly enlightened one, become the one who has all the resources, all the powers, and all knowledge, and all the perfect skillful means, right? So it generated the mind of awakening, and it began to say, I want it, and for the sake of all sentient beings, right? I want to attain Buddhahood. Maybe now is the 8th step. So, but the way to I attain the Buddhahood is I'm going to practice, execute the 6 great perfection, or 6 great great perfection of wisdom, or the 6 Parajana Paramita, and take the 6 great perfection of wisdom as the means to achieve my goal. The goal is to become a Buddhahood, to achieve Buddhahood and become Buddha myself. And so then you are dedicated to yourself, right? And day and in and out, everywhere, all the time, and your life is become the practice of six great perfections. So that's probably the process, whole process of to equalizing the achieve the equalizing self with others. Yes, so you're right, and we do have the 7 quintessential instructions on the cause and the effect, and so whichever the practice you're going to adopt, and I guess that's not the issue, right? Which way? Because all of them are, and I guess it's equally and effective, equally and important. It's like you climb the mountain, right? And whichever the way, right, the different individual who have different capacity, right, and different sort of the background, and so for some, this equalizing self with others is more effective, more direct, and for others, probably the quintessential 7 point of quintessential instruction cause effect maybe is more effective. And so I don't really see any differences between these two, and in general, but I'll see that the individual level, yes, the differences be made. For example, myself, and compared to the practice of the 7 point of quintessential instruction, the cause effect, I personally feel is equalizing self with other. It seems more direct and feels a bit easier, or I feel more comfortable with it. So it's totally up to individuals' preference. Does that answer your question? Oh yeah, 当然背起了。Oh yeah. So that's all for today, and thank you for your attention. Now let's do the prayers.
Page number 80. Nam de Yahweh Mambo Dajur De Mason de Tera Kondo Jabe Yaji Tebe Jason Dambaran Bagun Zanam Jinzo Yene Dube Yana Yeshizo Rangi Jejin Tobe Lam Jibel Shura Zebe Zhang Wei Tang Ye Chi Do Ye Ye Ye
Yahweh Damba Yuran Jin Damba Jin Chogi Macho Cha Jan Yang Jervi Chode Nyang Je Chen Bo Yaro Choba and de Sara Se Je Yahweh Ma Chon Chen La Ro Chang Shu Nam Ji Ren De Than Do Nam Ji Ye La Ba De Yahweh Za Ba Ram De Chung Jer Yang Sang De Be Te Jen Do Ji Ga Jen Se Shi Be Dang Me Me Te Ro Gun De Yahweh Ma Nam Da Lam Dang Javar Ma Jer Gan Zi Ta Ma Chong La Chi Ju Se Yen Zhe La Zong Ma Di Tu Ne An Ji Dang De Tong Ji Zha Xi Yang Zhou Qiu Gun Chang Zhi Ju Bang Dian Zang Wei Lama Renpo Xi Da Xue Ning Gu Wang Mei Dang Zhu La Ba Dian Shen Po Gu Nei Ji Zong Bei Gu Song Du Jie Wu Zhe Za De Su Zong Zhe Sem Zhu Renpo Jie Ma Jie Ji Yuan De Ji 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 Jie Wa Nian Ba Mei Ba Yang Gong Ne Gong De Bei Wu Shou Wang Re Ra Wei Gu Wei Xin Gang De Ben Dang De Wa Ma Li Zhong Wei这类人往等这样做一小边是这我的等着去叫宝宝我这对钱包当很多生活这样的现在得到回去就是我老是给我的到他们这了对我就是想别叫我他们这些我干嘛就对我把的到是因为到我的平常生活就是了对我人家本地中的担保的现在但是给我他们而且我那的这种为你上街担保当做技术性，这个跟着要我中高位。有些年我是这边的，因为我在路上的年龄，给街上样到慢慢就是解决的。因为那就是件上面的39年的，就是我这边真的就去。你多年来他就这周围那毛了把当做中央没法说。